scale that, we need a top-notch leader.
Yeah, appreciate that. And thank you for your efforts. And we'll talk some more in the second round. I'll yield back the balance of Ms. DeLauro's time.
Well said. At this time, I would like to recognize Ms. Wasserman-Schultz for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here. Quite frankly, we should have had this hearing weeks ago, but the president's budget request was so late to arrive, and looking at it, it's clear why. Energy costs are crushing American families. But, Mr. Secretary, in a video yesterday, you downplayed that pain, saying you're proud of President Trump and his record of delivering a 13% spike in household utility bills. Your own agency says gas prices are higher today than when President Biden left office, and they're still rising. I was hopeful that your department budget request would target these skyrocketing energy costs Americans face, but this request fails miserably and just continues the pain that this White House continues to inflict on my constituents. Mr. Secretary, since January of 2025, your department withheld over $345 million in rebate funds from Florida homeowners, ranging from $8,000 to $14,000. When will your department release these funds to struggling Floridians?
I do not have the specific answer to that at the tip of my tongue. I know a lot of these broad-scale rebate programs we've gone through to look at carefully to make sure we get rid of fraud on these things and we deliver them straight up.
Reclaiming my time, $345 million is a lot of damn money. And $8,000 to $14,000 grants are the kinds of things that help struggling homeowners dealing with high electric bills to try to reduce those costs down. I would think that you would know at least something about what I'm talking about when you are withholding that much money.
We have looked carefully at a number of these broad-based programs that deliver money to consumers for rebates, for efficiencies, for upgrades. Okay. An incredible amount of fraud in that. There was DEI stuff put into that.
Please give me a break. And we're talking about reclaiming my time. We're talking about $8,000 to $14,000 grant funds so that people can lower their energy costs. It's a grant program. You're withholding $345 million of previously approved funding. I'd like you to answer for the record and get back to me specifically when those funds are going to be released. The Home Efficiency Program and the High Efficiency Electric Home Rebates are grants to states, territories, and tribes who then ensure low to moderate income households can make energy-saving retrofits or buy efficient HVACs, insulation, water heaters, and high-efficiency appliances and cost-saving electric upgrades. In Florida, these things are not optional. They're how we can live, grow, and survive in a very warm weather state. But right now, Florida's Ag and Consumer Services Department is waiting for $173 million in home efficiency dollars and another $172 million in high-efficiency electric home dollars to fulfill those rebates. Your department ghosted them and left Floridians out in the heat. Similarly, your department pulled the rug out from under two of my local governments who were awarded grants, which you now refuse to pay out, one to the Seminole Tribe of Florida and another to the city of Miramar. The Seminole Tribe grant was supposed to prevent power outages and enhance their grid resiliency. That's a critical mission in Florida, yet apparently not for the Department of Energy. Will you commit today to unlocking the funding awarded to both the Seminole Tribe and the city of Miramar and make sure that these other grants are unlocked as well, since Congress appropriated the funds and they are appropriated under law?
Of course, we follow the law. We look at all of our projects and deploy funds that are legally obligated, but we look at them carefully. I hear your sort of smug dismissal of our concern for energy costs and energy reliability.
Mr. Secretary,
it's entirely unjustified.
Reclaiming my time, it's hundreds of millions of dollars, which amount to small grants that make a big difference in the lives of the average Floridian, the average homeowner, and organizations that want to lower their electric bills. The administration says you care about that, but actions, I'm a show me person, not a tell me person, withholding funding that ensures people can actually lower their bills, that's the opposite of what this funding was intended for, and you are withholding it, and I expect an answer and details as to when it's going to be released. Finally, Mr. Secretary, we saw electricity prices go up in Florida even before the president's actions in the Middle East. But the Department of Energy cuts programs and funding that would invest in more affordable and reliable energy, and instead it favors extending coal power plants well past their useful lifespan. The reason that you, I'm sure, could not possibly provide me with real examples of clean, safe, and reliable energy in the FY27 budget request is because you're basically giving up and ceding this entire market to the Chinese for decades. Everything from the start of this administration to today has set up Americans, and especially Floridians, for a cost of living crisis, and this budget request prolongs it. You can try to blame it on Iran or anyone else, but this president and cabinet made calculated choices to inflict this high-cost chaos on Americans. Because of the big ugly law alone, electricity rates are projected to jump between 9 and 18% in the next 10 years. DOE canceled over $12 billion in congressionally appropriated and lawfully obligated energy projects, which could have increased reliability and efficiency of our eroding grid. DOE yanked $30 million in Florida Power and Light grants, letting those costs get dumped directly on Floridians. And you've slow-walked billions in nuclear projects and other energy projects that could be on their way to providing more affordable power sources to our grids. But somehow, as the Energy Department programs are slashed, the Secretary's office and DOE headquarters are getting budget increases under your proposal. You've betrayed the people you swore to serve, and Mr. Secretary, we can't afford it any longer. Congress must not be complicit in this administration's high-cost chaos. Thank you for the indulgence. I yield back the balance of my time.
At this time, I would like to